Hello and Happy New Year's. So less than 24 hours from now, we are going to be entering New Year's of year 2006. And once again, last night, I had another crazy family dream. Now, in the past, it used to be just one family dream versus another family dream. And what I'm referring to is one night I would have a dream and it would be involve my relatives only on my mom's side. And then in another dream, I would have a dream involving my dad's side of the family. But lately, I'm getting mixed, putting together with my mom's side and my dad's side, connecting into one dream. Now, you might be not understanding what I'm talking about, but for a long time, as an ex-Jehovah's Witness and someone who's been gone from the Watchtowers organization for more than 21 years, yes, that's over 2 decades ago, and knowing that 99.9% of all my relatives on both sides of the family has been completely shunning me for years. And for many, many years, I get dreams involving relatives that completely cut all ties with me, but yet they're in my dreams. So, without any further ado, I want to tell you what kind of dream I had last night. Let's get into it. So the dream begins when I was inside my grandmother's house. Yes, my grandmother on my dad's side in Pierce, Arizona. And I walked into her huge 5-bedroom, 3-bath house, which in reality, my grandmother hasn't lived in that house for over 20 years. But apparently in this dream, I walked into this house. And as I was sitting there, I looked over in her TV room. I saw my dad, along with his younger brother, Carlos. They were glued to some type of video game. And they were sitting there with their controller and really glued to it. They're just playing this video game. They're really obsessed with this. And I'm looking at what the heck is going on? Why is my dad, Victor Sr., playing some type of video game with his brother Carlos? But they were really into it. They were looking at that TV, playing that game. And finally, I told my dad, you know what? I'm going to go outside and just explore their neighborhood. So my dad's like, okay, Victor, okay, that's fine. Me and my brother Carlos are playing this game. So I'm like, whatever. So I started walking out. And of course, there was my Aunt Esther's trailer. Nothing was there. I didn't see anyone. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I'm keep walking around. Of course, I see their chicken coop. Nothing's new. And then all of a sudden, when I was walking closer to my Aunt Terry's house, I start hearing some really loud music, like outside music. And I was like, wow, what's going on at Aunt Terry's house? I heard some like really hip-hoppity music. They must have been doing some partying. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna walk over there and see what's going on. So I went over there, and as I'm walking over there, I had this little tiny little Chihuahua-sized dog. He was white and gray, and it was my dog. And as I was walking towards my Aunt Terry's house, all of a sudden, my uncle Carmine, who sadly in real life he passed away from some type of sickness, but in the dream, while I'm walking toward their house, my uncle Carmine comes out in his backyard, and he just standing there. He's not saying anything. He's just looking at me. And I'm looking like, what is going on? Why is my Uncle Carmine just standing there looking at me? And of course, he sees my little yelpy dog. And so I'm like, this is really weird. And then seconds later, a woman, elderly woman, comes out. And it was obvious in my dream, it was Carmine's wife. And she comes out, and she right away starts rolling her eyes and says, "Oh no, not this again. I hate dogs." And she was rambling on. "I hate dogs. This is why I hate doing this. This is private property. And I'm this little nappy little dog. He just won't stop yelping at me. This is bull crap. Oh my God, I can't believe this." And she's going off the deep end, just nonstop. And then I'm looking at her like, oh my God, lady, shut up. It's a little tiny Chihuahua-sized dog. Yes, he's yelping, but come on, get over it. And don't start using this private property bull crap. And so I'm just rolling my eyes like, this is so ridiculous. And then all of a sudden, I didn't see her walking out. Just all of a sudden, bing! I look, and there she was. There was my cousin Melanie, who is my cousin on my mom's side of the family, along with her BFF friend Stephanie, which I don't know for sure, but I don't think they're BFF friends anymore. And then my little brother Beaner, also known as Ben. And they were literally side by side. And I right away look at them three, and I'm thinking to myself, and I'm like, what is going on? Why is Melanie sitting there with her BFF friend Stephanie and my brother? So I walked closer to them, and right when I got close and I'm looking at them, my brother has this ghost look like he's just sitting there looking at me like he's scared. And then of course I look at Stephanie, and she just kind of looking like doo-doo-doo, doodly-doo, doodly-doodly, ding-ding-ding. And then all of a sudden, I look at my cousin Melanie, and she has this look, this attitude like, look who I have. I have my BFF friend Stephanie and your brother Benjamin. And she's looking at me like, she kept staring at me like, what are you going to do about it, sugar drops? She had that attitude, and she just kept looking at me. But she's not talking. None of them are talking. My brother, my cousin Melanie, or her BFF friend Stephanie. They're just smiling. Melanie just had that cheesy smile. She had that smile like I just want to bitch slap her and say, oh, get that attitude out of my face. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm looking like, what is going on? Why is my brother look so scared, and Melanie has that smirk on her face? So finally, I start shaking my head, and I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm going back to my grandma's house, the big, huge 5-bedroom, 3-bath house, and seeing what's going back, see if my dad's still playing that video game. So I rolled my eyes, and I just walked away. So then I walked back, which only takes you less than 5 minutes. I walked back into my grandma's huge house. And there it was. My dad and his brother Carlos were still just sitting there, really fascinated with this video game. And they have their controller, their video game controller. Bing, 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 bing. And of course, I don't remember what kind of game they're playing, but they're really fascinated. My dad is playing this game with his brother Carlos, staring at the TV, and I right away said, yeah, Dad? My dad's like, yeah, what's going on? Yeah, we're playing this game. And my dad's like, I'm like, do you know that my brother Benjamin and my cousin Melanie and her BFF Stephanie is right outside of your sister's house, Terry's house? I was like, yeah, okay, good for you. Good, yeah, whatever. Ding, bing, 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 bing. They're playing their video game still. They're just completely fascinated with this video game. And suddenly, I woke up. That was my dream. Don't ask me why I have these crazy dreams, but that's what it is. So, do you understand what I'm talking about when I'm connecting both families together in my dreams? Because my cousin Melanie is my cousin on my mom's side. Yes, that's my mom's sister Nan's daughter Melanie. And Melanie and I hadn't spoken once since she told me that she was getting divorced. I think it was back in 2017, and that her husband is gay. So why am I getting these dreams? You know, it's the same thing with my dad. I've only spoken to my dad twice since year 2012, and both were at funerals. So why do I have these dreams? And the dream doesn't bother me. I'm just telling you how it is. So I hope you enjoyed this dream. All I gotta say is it's just crazy. I don't understand why this happens. But anyway, I just want to say Happy New Year's. I hope everyone had a really awesome Christmas. And be well, everyone.